Hey fellow hams, this is KY4RDB, Roland Brown, and I had a lot of buzz generated off of my DMR video and had some discussions on the radios with a couple other hams today about DMR. And wanted to give you a quick overview of what is a hotspot and what does it allow you to do. A hotspot is just a way of connecting into the DMR network when you may not have a DMR repeater available in your area. Alright, you're going to look over my fellow ham here in the floor that's meowing. So the hotspot, like I said, allows you to connect into the DMR network when a repeater may not be available in your area. There's several types of these hotspots out on the market. There's the DV4 Mini, which judging from some of the groups that I've read, they recommend that you stay away. It's actually a USB device that plugs into your computer. There is the DVMEGA board, which we will be discussing in this video. And then there is the RF Open Shark device that's out on the market. But last checked, I think it is back ordered till February. So what I want to do first is I want to start talking about the DVMEGA and the Raspberry Pi option. So I'm going to pause the video for just a minute, and then when we come back, we're going to be looking down upon the Raspberry Pi. Alright, what you see in front of you is a Raspberry Pi. This is a single board computer. They've been out for a while. They have various uses. But this is the Raspberry Pi 3. It's going to run you around about $35. I purchased mine from MCM Electronics. You got the Raspberry Pi and a case, a clear case for it, which in the context of doing this hotspot, we're not going to use this case. So let's talk about the Raspberry Pi. You're going to notice right off the bat that we have an Ethernet connection here, and we've got 4 USB ports here, okay? Over here on the side, we've got a place for audio out with your standard 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, an HDMI connector if you want to hook it up to your TV or whatever. And then this is the power slot. It's a micro USB power slot. You can actually power this thing from actually one of your USB ports on your computer, or you can buy a wall wart that'll plug in there and then into the wall. On this side, you're going to see this connector here. If you've worked on computers, it would be it'll probably put you in the mind of an IDE connector like used to be on the back of the old IDE hard drives, okay? This is where our DVMEGA board is actually going to plug in. Now, for simplicity's sakes, this is a spare that I have that's going to be slated for another project later on. So what I want to do is I want to bring in one that I've already mounted in a case. This is a case that's made just for the hotspots, and what I like about this case is it allows you to, you'll notice the screws here, and here, and here, and here. It allows you to screw the board actually in, so now we have a pretty secure connection, and you'll notice that it's nice. It's been cut out for all of our connections. I'm going to slide back over to this one for a minute, because the one thing I left out was on the bottom here, right here. This is where you're going to put a micro SD card. This is going to hold the operating system and any programs that you may have put onto your Raspberry Pi. You'll notice this case. It's very convenient. It's right here at the bottom, and I can slide my micro SD card out and slide it right back in. The only thing I will say is that the slot is kind of a little bit awkward, but it does work. Now, I purchased this case from eBay, and it ran you anywhere from $24 to $29.99. What I like about it is it's got this little piece right here that's going to add some stability to our DVMEGA board that we're going to be placing on top of the Pi. Now let's talk about the DVMEGA board. I'm going to set the Pi out of the way and bring it in. This is an actual UHF radio that we will program a file in a later video to tell it what frequency we want to transmit on. This black chip is the actual radio. We have an SMA connector here for the antenna. And then on the bottom, these are the pins that are going to set right in here on the Raspberry Pi. So let's go ahead and let's get that ready to set. I'll tell you what, just so you can kind of see what's going on, let's do it without one that's in there. Okay, so see, it's going to mate up, and you'll notice it's kind of flimsy if we don't have something to hold it. So I'm going to take that back off. I'm going to move this SD card out of the way. That's the one from my other Pi. Now I'm going to mate these two up. Minus stuff falling off of the bench on the other side. Okay. Like I said, it's a little tricky when you're got it in the case already. Okay. When you know you're in right, you'll notice that the DVMEGA board sets very nicely down in this case, and look how much more stable that is. And to make it even more stable, they have left you a screw hole right here. That allows you to keep it there. So as you can see, we're down to there. Now, this case is really nice because in addition to that, there is a fitted hole for our antenna. I'm going to pause the video and screw these down. Alright, so I've got the case together. You'll notice we've got easy access to our Ethernet and our USBs, our HDMI, our power slot, and our headphone jack. And then, like I said, back here is our SD card slot. This case is also vented on the bottom. One of the neat things about the Raspberry Pis, depending on what you're doing, you don't have to have a fan attached to them, and they require very little power. The last thing we need to do is attach our antenna. This antenna was bought from Gigaparts along with the DVMEGA board. I believe it was around $19. It's a UHF stubby antenna, 0 gain. We're just going to screw that on. And now we have a completed working Raspberry Pi DVMEGA Hotspot for DMR connection. The Raspberry Pi, I've been talking about the Ethernet, which is the preferred way to hook it up, but the Raspberry Pi 3 additionally has Wi-Fi built into it, so you can actually connect this to your Wi-Fi home network. In another video, we'll talk about the image for the DMR hotspot, but I just wanted to give you a quick overview of what the hardware was and let you see exactly what we're talking about. Once again, this is KY4RDB